Hello, my name is David Johnson, and I am the Digital Marketing Strategist for Next Generation Dealer Services and author of PersuasiveConcepts.com. Now in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about social objects and how you use them to create social media profit. Okay, so if you look at social media, there are only two things that you need to do to achieve a profit in social media. Two things. Now, obviously, when I mention these two things, they're simple to say, but not so simple to actually achieve. But during this video, I'm going to share with you some insights into how you can get that done. The first thing you have to do to create profit from social media is to create brand loyalty. Now, if you look back to loyalty in our country, here in the U.S., you'll see that people aren't as loyal as they used to be. You don't hear about as many Chevy guys or Ford guys as you used to. It's just that people kind of jump around from business to business. You no longer have your neighborhood butcher that everybody goes to. You walk in and they know your name, right? You just don't see that as much anymore. But through the power of social media and through the use of social objects, you'll be able to create brand loyalty. Also, the second part of social media that you want to harness is influencing word of mouth. So those are your two profit centers in social media: create brand loyalty and influence word of mouth. Now, obviously, by influencing word of mouth, you get people to talk about you, right? As we know, that is the best form of advertising available, is word of mouth. And of course, once you get those people in the door, you want to create brand loyalty so they keep coming back to your brand. And by brand, I'm not talking about the Fords you sell, or the Chevys, or Toyotas, or Hondas. No, I'm talking about the brand of the dealership. I'm talking about the people that make up the dealership. Now, there are four types of people that will make up your community online. The first are called consumers. Now, this is really, really important to note, because here in a minute when I talk about how to create the most important type of member, I think it's important that you know these four. The first one is the consumer. The consumer is the person that just consumes your content. What I mean by that is they read it, they watch your videos, they listen to your podcast, they look at the pictures, they do all of that, but they don't engage. Right? They don't respond. They don't do anything but consume. Now, this is about 90% of the people that will be on your social networks. So when you hear people say that quality is important, not quantity, I would say that's only half right. What I mean by that is, yes, quality is very important, but so is quantity, because we are playing a numbers game. Most people are consumers. The second type of person are engagers. These are the people that will engage on your content. They'll put comments. They'll click the like button on Facebook. Maybe they will even share, retweet something on Twitter. Okay, those are the engagers. They engage with your content. Influencers are people that will help influence people to join your community. Okay, so think about it on Facebook. These are the people that go tell their friends, hey, you need to come over to this Facebook page. There's some really cool stuff going on here at this dealership. Check it out. I think you're really going to like it. Then the most important of them all, and the whole reason behind making this video, is the brand ambassador. The brand ambassador is only about 1 or 2% of the online community, but the brand ambassador is the person that will go to great lengths to tell everybody that they know and everybody they don't know about your dealership. That's what you want to do. You want to create as many different brand ambassadors as humanly possible. And again, we're going to go over how to create brand ambassadors through the use of social objects. Okay, so brand ambassador, for an example, is the type of person that will be standing in line at Walmart. And I've gave this example before because I think it illustrates the point very well. But they're standing in line at the grocery store or Walmart, wherever they happen to be, and they hear about the person behind them, maybe talking with their friend or something, and saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about going and buying a car sometime this weekend." Right? So this person is going to be your brand ambassador, is going to turn around and say, this is where you needed to go. You need to go to XYZ Motors. Go check them out. When you're there, I want you to ask for Joseph. He's the one you want to see. And they may have one of your business cards in their pocket, and they're going to give it out. That's what I mean by brand ambassadors. And there is a way that you can create that brand ambassador through the proper use of social media. Okay? So let's go and get right into it. Let's talk about connecting around a social object. Now, not too long ago, I actually created a small little video about this one little section here that I'm about to talk about. So some of this may look a little bit familiar, but I'm going to add to it, kind of flesh it out a little bit more. So a lot of dealers will take their dealership, okay, their brick and mortar business, and they'll take the community and they try to make a connection between the dealership and the community. Now, you're thinking, what's wrong with that, David? Nothing's wrong with that. You want to make a connection. But it's very, very difficult to connect a community, warm-blooded people, okay, human beings, to a brick and mortar business. Now, just the other day, I said that social media isn't about business to business or business to customer. Social media is about person to person, okay? So it's very important that the connection be around something else. So again, let's go ahead and talk about social objects here, and right here, just now, I guess. So, social object. A social object can be a something that is a cause, and we're going to talk about this more about causes in just a minute. Cause, lifestyle, or passion. Okay, it's something that people are already engaged around. It's something that people are already connected to. So what you want to do is you want to connect the dealership alongside this cause, alongside this passion, alongside this lifestyle. Okay, because what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to segment parts of the community out that are interested in that particular thing. And we're going to get some examples here in just a second. I'm trying to talk in broad terms right now. But you connect your dealership alongside this, and because part of the community is already connected and conversating around this social object out there, because they're already doing that, they're going to see the dealership is contributing and becoming part of that social object, whatever it may be. I'm going to give you some examples here in just a minute and help it make more sense. Okay, so now the dealership isn't trying to take away from the conversation around the social object. They're becoming part of it because there's a unique psychological reason why certain social objects are the way they are. And I know I'm talking in broad terms here because I'm going to get to this in just a moment. But once you have this whole thing going, and incidentally I call this the golden triangle of community engagement. Now, once this is going on, three things need to happen. Okay, three things, three types of connections. There must be a connection between. I should revert these actually because I'm going to start here at the bottom down here. Is that there needs to be a connection between the employee and the community members. What I mean by that is if you think about traditional advertising and social media, and the big difference between the two of them is that traditional advertising was all about marketing the business, or is all about marketing the business. Social media is all about marketing the people of the business. Okay, that's the big difference. So what we need to do, instead of trying to connect with the dealership and have a no-name person on Facebook as an example out there and just communicating with people and trying to engage with people, that person needs to be real. That person, everybody needs to know who that person is. He knows their name, needs to know, needs to see pictures of them, needs to know who they are, their thoughts, their feelings. Okay, there needs to be that connection. There also needs to be a connection between employee and employee. And I'm just using the example of Facebook because obviously it's the largest social network out there. But there needs to be a connection on the Facebook page between the employees as well. Why? Why, you ask? Employees need to go on there and communicate with each other. The reason is because the community is out there and they're communicating with employees, and then they see employees communicating with other employees. It feels like they're part of the business. This is what sets a brand ambassador from an influencer, right? A brand ambassador feels that they are part of the dealership. They are part of your business, okay? And the only way you're going to make that happen is by making them feel that way, okay? Make them be part of some discussion. Have discussions. Ask them questions. You know, how can we do this better? Now, you know, we're thinking about advertising this. What do you think? You know, get them involved. Get them to collaborate with you, because it's in that collaboration that you're going to be able to develop a wider number or a bigger number of brand ambassadors. And then the most important one that you want to create, I know what you're thinking, well, shouldn't it be employee community the most important? No, it shouldn't be. The most important connection in your community needs to be between the community members, okay? Community and community. Because once you get the people talking amongst themselves, you're becoming part of the conversation. Now you hear people, especially social media trainers out there that will say you want to join the conversation. Yes, you do want to join the conversation, but more importantly, you want to become the conversation. You want to be what people are talking about. So you need to get the community talking. You need to give them things to talk about. Okay. So let's define a social object. All right. So first thing is a social object is talk worthy. What that means is people want to tell other people about this social object. And I'm going to give you an example of really good social object here in just a minute. Number two is people want to congregate around this social object. They want to be around the people that make up the community around the social object because they feel in one with them. And their conversation is people want to conversate with other people, right? They want to talk with other people about the object. They want to talk about it. Good example of this is the iPhone. Think about how many different forums out there, how many different conversations happen around the iPhone. The iPhone is such a big social object. I mean, there are people having conversations right now, hundreds of different people, thousands of different people having conversations around the iPhone. They're sharing about some new apps they found, some new way they've maybe have rooted their iPhone, some things that they have done with it. But there's a lot of conversations. It's talk-worthy. People congregate around it, and people want to talk about it all the time. Matter of fact, I've been in an airport, and I've seen somebody approach somebody else because they had an iPhone and started asking about a specific app. I see conversations happening both on and off around the iPhone, okay? Because if someone sees an iPhone user, they feel like they're part of some club, right? So that's what I mean by a social object. So there are two types of social object. One is your brand. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this hurt anybody's feelings out there, but it must be said, is most dealerships do not have a strong enough brand. What I mean by that is I'm not talking about the vehicles they sell, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the brand, who they are, what they stand for, is not strong enough to get people talking, such as the iPhone, okay? Or even something as much as Nike or even let's see. I had an idea on top of my head and I kind of just misplaced it there. But there are a lot of different things out there that people congregate around, people talk about in their businesses, okay? And Apple is just one of them because Apple has created such an experience in their stores. And another one are social objects that are already out there. Okay, these social can be a passion, can be a cause, can be a lifestyle. Okay, there are objects out there that people are already talking about. For instance, just comes off the top of my head, just talk about something that people are passionate about, like sports teams. Okay, so let's say you live in a big college town or a pro football town. Okay, and you know that people are super excited about the football team. I mean, you see them out there. I mean, you go to a game and they're bare chested in 20-degree weather and they're painted all up. You know they're freezing to death, but they're so passionate about it that they just want to scream and root them on as much as they can. That's what I'm talking about. So if you align yourself with this kind of social object out there, okay, you're sharing stats, you're talking about stuff that's going on, maybe even have a contest about the closest person to the actual score wins tickets to the next game or something like that. Okay, so you're congregating around the social object. Now, you don't have to stick to just one. You can have multiple stuff going on at one time. It is fine. You should do that. Okay, you should do that. So let's talk about existing social objects here. Okay, passions can be like the local sports team or muscle cars or even education. And I give you a really good example about that one is, and I've talked about it before, but during a Metro Honda, and the reason I'm bringing this up again is because we're about to do this again, but on even a grander scale. But what we did last year was the Union County School Pride Project. So we just wanted people to show the pride in their schools. That was it. There's a lot of things that happened around that. I mean, we had the dealership put up $5,000. And we had weekly prizes to give away as well. We had other businesses, Best Buy donating computers. We had Carolina Courts is one of them I could think of, donated some computers and their actually indoor sporting facility. And what we did there was we kind of had a settle on the court challenge where schools had to produce videos, and then the one had the top six videos as voted on. Met for on the settle on the court challenge, and then they had a bunch of challenges they had to do, and there was somewhere in the ballpark of 500 or 600 people that showed up to that. So a lot of really cool, fun stuff happened. But Metro Honda, they were aligning themselves with the community by connecting and helping the schools out. Right now, they weren't trying to take away. from anything. They weren't saying, "Hey, I'm giving money. Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing." No, they were becoming part of it. The kids were talking about how fun this was. They were making videos, and there was close to 100 videos created during these contests. There were hundreds and hundreds of videos created. There were 75 or 80 different blog posts that were created. So a lot of different user-generated content was created, and that would have never happened if we tried to create excitement around the brand of the dealership, right? So we use an existing social object. Another one is causes. Causes form around issues that command attention, such as ending world hunger, or ending child hunger, or homelessness, or even wounded warriors, right? So there's a lot of things you can connect with that. Another one is a lifestyle. Lifestyles are closely related to personal identity and culture, such as the surfing lifestyle, or even Cajun. In any kind of action sports, like a surfer or a skateboarder, or a lot of other different things out there. But there are a lot of things that people are already congregated around and talking about. Like this example, I put the surfing up here that you can see on the screen right now, is that people. There's so much stuff that happens around surfing. That is a lifestyle. That's not just a sport. That is a lifestyle that people live it both in and out of the water. And that's what I mean by lifestyle. So there you have it. Engaging around an existing social object, right? And the golden triangle of community engagement. So what social objects in your community command attention that you can connect around, become part of, and help to grow? Because as you help that social object grow, you yourself will get a connection, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to become one of us instead of being just one of them. So there you have it. My name is David Johnson, and I am the digital marketing strategist for Next Generation Dealer Services and author of PersuasiveConcepts.com. You can reach me at davidj@nextgendealer.com, and of course that's NEXTGENDEALER. davidj@nextgendealer.com. Take care and go sell some cars.